Zadondaney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, I am here to talk to you guys about Miraculous Season 5, Episode 4, Jubilation. Now, this episode was rather interesting, to say the least, with primarily focusing on, obviously, Marinette, but also dealing with the idea that there are people who are going to put themselves in dangerous situations, despite the fact that Ladybug and Cat Noir are fighting for their to help them and all of this stuff. And we've seen a little bit from this in the past with Dark Owl, but we haven't really seen too much else from that. One of the big things that we saw was that, well, Ladybug and Cat Noir would allow Mr. Damocles to do simple things, such as being somebody who people can rely on. He would go around basically being a superhero of sorts, but basically just being a everyday superhero, dealing with the things that are just minor inconveniences, helping out with different situations, such as a lost cat or something like that. And one of the things that they specifically one of the things that they wanted him to do is make sure that you contact the official authority on major authorities for something that is dangerous, such as a cat in a tree. Call the fire department. You should not be. It's okay to help out people, but don't put yourself in too much danger, especially in a place where things are very, very dangerous. We see, first off, that Ladybug and that Marinette, she sees this and immediately wants to jump in to help out Mr. Damocles. But then another Ladybug appears who clearly doesn't have powers, but Ladybug immediately realizes who this person is. This is So Clean, someone that she's known apparently from previous years, which kind of throws a monkey wrench in my whole theory that the whole series has been basically going through about a year. It's now basically been confirmed that it has not been a year, which is just... There are so many issues with the Miraculous canon that they've been... some of it they've been saying, it's been a year. Other things it's been like, no, it hasn't. This is leading me to believe that, no, it has not even been a year since the full season yet. Which also, what? There's so many issues. Especially, this is also basically saying, okay, 100%, the video game is not canonical anymore because there's like a whole bunch of stuff with that, and I've talked about the video game already. I'm not going any more into it. But apparently she went to she was in the school around the same time that the year before everything happened, and she was basically her best friend, but she went on to go to college, or go to the next grade, which I'm not even certain what that's about. Which I also am kind of confused because I'm pretty sure that they're in high school, so I don't know. There's lots of things with that. It's complicated. My guess is that more than likely, So Clean, there's some dubbing issues, and basically Marinette and Adrian, they're in high school, and then So Clean is in college, and then it's like just weirdly explaining things, and it could just be that there's like a whole bunch of different issues with a lot. When you're dealing with schools from different countries, it could be a bit more challenging than what you know. And I need to look more into how the schooling system works over in France to be certain on this. But basically, she's in a grade above, basically in the next level, whatever that is. While Marinette is in this school. I think that it could still be that it has been over a year at this point, but what's basically happened is that So Clean was basically at the school, and she was friends with Marinette for a good while, but she ended up graduating beforehand. I don't know. There's lots of things with that. It's hard to say for sure exactly what they're going on with. But yeah, but basically, Soclean is pretending to be Ladybug because she wants to step in to help out. But Marinette is not having any of that, especially considering how dangerous things are right now. And I think the biggest issue for her is that she's mad that she's pretending to be Ladybug. I think that if Soclean had ended up being had pretended to be some other hero, hadn't pretended to be Ladybug, had pretended to be just had made herself a new identity, I think things would have gone over a lot easier. Um, just between them, she probably would have been like, "Oh, okay, still be careful, but don't be reckless. Don't pretend. Don't hurt yourself trying to be a hero, because Mr. Damocles literally before this is being saved from falling off a sign by her, and it's just yeah. There's lots of issues with it. But one of the things is that Marinette is trying to say, okay, be careful, and she's also kind of talking to Mr. Damocles, but it's specifically aimed at Soclean, but Mr. Damocles hears it, and he thinks, oh, no, he can't be a hero anymore. There's lots of issues, to say the least. But basically, with all of that, Mr. Damocles becomes Darker Owl, and he basically kidnaps Soclean because Soclean happened to have a alliance, which apparently the alliance can can basically tracks your movement. And since Marinette had warned the alliance, which I'm realizing very quickly how freaking powerful these things are and how useful they are, because even if it is clear to Hawkmoth that more than likely, after this, if Ladybug realizes what exactly is going on, which she now has, he knows that she probably will not use one of these ever again, especially realizing that they can track locations. So basically he's wasted it for that purpose, which is also kind of interesting, and raises a question that's rather important. What about Adrian? Because Adrian has an alliance ring. But one thing that has just been in the back of my brain is, has he used it at all? Like, I don't think he's used it. He doesn't even wear it, for one thing. Or at least he doesn't seem to be using it unless, well, it's off of his finger. It's basically just sitting in his room all this time, and he's refusing to use it, which, thank goodness for that. It's probably because he knows exactly what's going on. But we see that Flag is messing with it, and Adrian refuses to use it, which, thank goodness for that. That's really good. And then, obviously, Marinette and continues, and so on and so forth. There's lots of fun things with that. Needless to say, it's really interesting, and Hawkmoth thinks that Soclean, while not necessarily Ladybug herself, he at least realizes that she could be connected to her. More than likely, she got a charm for her, or she used Soclean's band. It's honestly really interesting. And with that, obviously, Darker Owl takes her as a captive, all this stuff. The battle is fairly simple, but he has gotten the power of Jubilation, and he uses it on frickin' Ladybug and Cat Noir, and we see this honestly really cute moment where the two of them see exactly how they're supposed to fight. They have a victory jubilation, and then they see their future together and how nice it would be. And then Ladybug, despite keeps hearing a ringing because her lucky charm happened to be an alarm clock that continuously went off. And with that, it allowed them to finally wake up, because she realized it was a dream this entire time. And it's honestly so sad to see this, because Marinette and Adrian clearly love each other. And Ladybug has slowly but surely started to fall in love with Cat Noir. And Cat Noir, while he's starting to lose interest in Ladybug, he is starting to fall in love with Marinette. And it's honestly a really sweet moment, because this should be a thing that wakes them both up to make them realize we love each other. Despite the fact that right now Adrien loves Marinette, and and Marinette still thinks that she loves Adrien, but she is starting to understand a connection between him and Cat Noir, and the two of them are kind of merging into one. They're becoming. I think it's funny that a lot of people are saying the whole love square has basically rotated, so that now everything is different. But I think rather than thinking that, I think what is more accurate is that two new lines have started to appear, where Marinette and Adrien are starting to fall in love with, well, their other selves that they weren't in love with. Marinette is falling in love with Cat Noir, and Adrien is starting to fall in love with Marinette. And it's honestly a really cute moment, and I can't wait to see more from this. I've said before that I'm pretty sure that season 5 at this point, and I'm becoming more and more certain of this as the season continues, that this is going to be the season of the actual reveal. And I think that there is something that could be said about what would what would happen if they went to Andre at this point in time. And I think that something interesting would be happening. Basically, both of them ask for ice cream, but as he's making them their ice cream, he sees pink peach for his lips, green for his eyes for Marinette, but he also sees something new appear. A bit of black licorice starting to appear. Is it the same person? Who knows? But or it may just be someone who shares the same traits. It's the soul that's the most important, not the costume. And when it goes to Adrien, he gives him the same ice cream, but he realizes that something has been removed. While it's still there to a certain degree, it's to a much lesser extent. The suit that Ladybug has been wearing for all this time, it's still there. He still loves Ladybug, but he's also starting to realize his feelings for the person herself. Not Ladybug, but Marinette. He may not understand. They may not understand what exactly is going on, but it's rather interesting. I also think it's really interesting that Ladybug and Cat Noir are very easily able to pick up on who exactly people are if they're just wearing a mask. They're able to realize that Chloe was pretending to be Ladybug very easily. They were able to realize very quickly that Soclean is, well, not Ladybug, obviously. They were able to figure out exactly who she was, despite the fact that she just saw her with a mask. They were able to realize Mr. Damocles was the owl really frickin' early, which, that's cool. And so on and so forth. Multiple times have they been able to realize these things, which also leads me to wonder if maybe the suits also mask their disguise. And could it be that if they were to actually wear their full outfits completely, would they be known as Ladybug and Cat Noir? Maybe people would think, oh, they look very similar, but their personalities are very different. It's hard to say exactly at this point in time. The personalities are starting to converge and become one. So, Cat Noir, or Adrien and Cat Noir, while they used to be two completely separate people, he had his one personality for Cat Noir, his one personality for Adrien. They've slowly begun to turn in and converge into one another, becoming the same person. Same goes for Marinette and Ladybug. Slowly and steadily, they've become themselves. It's kind of the same thing with most superheroes. The more you act, even if you act completely different from yourself when you become a hero, oftentimes those two personalities will become one. It's kind of interesting, and they've done this for a lot of different shows in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see exactly what they do with this. But it's, needless to say, very interesting. At the end of the episode, though, things don't go well. Obviously, Ladybug gives SoClean a little discussion saying, you gotta be careful, don't reveal yourself to, don't pretend to be me. Still be a hero that you can be, but don't do it in a way that's gonna make you get hurt. Pretending to be Ladybug is extremely dangerous, because at some points, people are going to see that, realize who you are, and they're going to target you. She has the suit. She can protect herself. Anyone who's around her, though, they don't. If Hawkmoth ever realizes who she is, the people that he's going to target isn't going to be her herself. It's going to be her family. He's going to target Tom and Marinette's mom. I'm forgetting what her name is. They're going to target all of these different people to make sure that he gets his fingers in there and can bring her to him, threatening the family to get to her. He can do the same thing for Adrien if he ever figures out that Adrien is Cat Noir. And we've seen that that's actually what happens. Obviously, Sass wasn't able to reveal that, the entire details, but he could have told a good number of details to make sure that nothing like that ever happened. And the same thing goes for, well, Cat Blanc. Ladybug is realizing very quickly that if she does ever reveal her identity to anyone, she has to be extremely careful with who she tells. Somebody who's not going to accidentally reveal her identity. Obviously, Alia is very careful. She has been extremely careful. Doesn't mention it to anyone. I have a theory that she's probably told Nino, but it's hard to say at this point in time. Obviously, we still have many more episodes to talk about, and it's very interesting. But the important thing to the end of this episode, though, is what she says to Cat Noir. She immediately thinks that it must be a trick. It must be something he somehow manipulated a Jubilation. They can't believe their own eyes because it just doesn't make sense to them that they could love each other like that at this point in time. To Marinette, it doesn't make sense. Why was she, yes, she is starting to get feelings for him, but at the same time, part of the other reason why she's telling him no is because of the fact that she knows what can happen if they reveal their identities. She's seen what's happened with Cat Blanc. She knows what's happened with the whole Sass situation. When, with them revealing their identities, which apparently, she knows that was going to be a thing. That they were going to reveal their identities, and Luca and Sass were going to be the ones who know their identities. But that was going to be it. They were going to be the safeguard against, well, issues. And with that, things collapsed. Something happened where their identities were revealed, and things got too dangerous. Hard to say exactly what's going on, but I, for one, am really, really excited to see what they have left in store for us for the next few episodes. We still have quite a few more episodes to get through. Obviously, Illusion is right around the corner, which, needless to say, I'm really excited for, because from the looks of it, Nino is putting together pieces to reveal that Hawkmoth is frickin' Gabriel Agreste, which, needless to say, I am excited for that, 100%. I cannot wait to see what they're actually going to be doing with this, and how it's going to be maybe not. I do think that at some point soon, they are going to realize that, yes, 100%, Hawkmoth is Gabriel Agreste, and they have to be extremely careful about this, because They can't just go in guns blazing at this point in time. He has more Miraculous than them. So they have to figure out, how do we get about this? How do we go around with this? Honestly, it's hard to say. But one other thing recently, I was just looking up, I was just doing some information research recently, and there was a scene that popped up into my research for a future episode, which I'm assuming is something that's already aired somewhere else. So more than likely that means that it's probably Determination, Passion, Reunion, or Exaltation. I don't think that Exaltation's actually gotten a release date yet, but it's one of those 4 episodes. I'm not certain exactly which one. But with that, needless to say, it looks very interesting, with possibly Marinette and Cat Noir sharing a kiss. Who knows exactly, and also Marinette breaking free from an akumatization. So look forward to that. I don't know exactly what that's gonna be, but I just saw that as I was doing some research, so I thought I would bring that up. Anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll talk more about Illusion very soon. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!